Hello, my name is Brenda and I am a paralegal that works and lives here in sunny San Francisco. And usually on my channel, I post blogs about how I'm navigating life in my 30s. But today's video is going to be a little different. I wanted to talk about how I became a paralegal with no paralegal degree here in California. If you're interested in learning more about how this all happened, then just keep watching. So when I graduated from college with my bachelor's degree, I went out into the market just like everyone else, not really knowing what I was doing or what I wanted to do. I just got a degree. That was like the goal, right? And so I went out into this market where we were competing with people with master's degrees for the bare minimum wage. All I knew that I wanted was I wanted to get a job. So how did I end up being a paralegal? In 2016, I actually got a job to be a receptionist at a small boutique law firm in Oakland that practiced mostly in affirmative housing law and personal injury. And I was very fortunate. I had coworkers that obviously had to train me because at the time I didn't know what a paralegal was. I didn't know what a defendant, a plaintiff was. I had absolutely no interest in law at all prior to landing this job. But I was also very lucky that my boss at the time was willing to mentor me into becoming a paralegal. So that leads me to how I was able to become a paralegal without a paralegal degree or any paralegal schooling. This information that I'm about to give you only applies to California. I would recommend that you go into your local rules for your state and see what it is that you need to become a paralegal. But here in California, according to Business and Professions Code 6450, which I will need my computer to read off of because I do not know this off the top of my head, a paralegal shall possess at least one of the following. Option 1 is a certificate of completion from a paralegal program approved by the American Bar Association. 2, a certificate of completion of a paralegal program at or a degree from a post-secondary institution that requires the successful completion of a minimum of 24 semesters or equivalent units in law-related courses and that has been accredited by a national or regional accrediting organization or approved by the Bureau of Private Post-Secondary and Vocational Education. 3, a bachelorette degree or an advanced degree in any subject, a minimum of 1 year of law-related experience under the supervision of an attorney who has been an active member of the State Bar of California for at least the preceding 3 years, or who has practiced in the federal courts of the state for at least the preceding 3 years, and a written declaration from these attorneys stating that the person is qualified to perform paralegal studies. 4, a high school diploma or a general equivalency diploma, a minimum of 3 years of law-related experience under the supervision of an attorney who has been active member of the State Bar of California for at least the preceding 3 years, or who has practiced in federal courts of the state for at least the preceding 3 years, and a written declaration from this attorney stating that the person is qualified to perform paralegal tasks. This experience and training shall be completed no later than December 31st of 2003. So, according to BCP 6450, all I needed to do, since I already had my bachelor's degree, was complete 1 year of sort of mentorship under my former boss, and then he just had to sign an affidavit where he swore that he was a bar licensed attorney, has been practicing for more than 3 years. It's a very short 1 page, it's nothing big, it's just a declaration. Now, here's a caveat with that option is that if you go down the same road that I did, you are only able to be a paralegal here in California. You are not able to go to another state because you would no longer fulfill the requirements to be a paralegal in a different state, since every state has their own rules. And California being one of those weird states that does not require their paralegals to have schooling or a degree. That's the only caveat. Now, let's talk about what a paralegal versus a certified paralegal is, because there is a difference. It's very complicated. Being a paralegal under BCP doesn't mean that you are certified. Even if you went to school for paralegal studies, you are not a certified paralegal. Bringing out the handy dandy notebook computer to explain what a certified paralegal is. So here's how it's described. A certified legal assistant / paralegal is a paralegal / legal assistant who has successfully completed the voluntary comprehensive 2-day Certified Legal Assistant/Paralegal Examination, CLA/CP, offered by the National Association of Legal Assistants, NALA, or who has successfully completed the Voluntary Comprehensive Registered Paralegal Examination, RP, offered by the National Federation of Paralegal Associations, NFPA. Those who have successfully completed a paralegal program are certificated, not certified. So the TLDR of that is that you are not certified unless you pass one of the exams that I mentioned. Why would you want to become a certified paralegal? Why would you want to put yourself through the torture of a 2-day exam? The simple terms, and in my opinion, it would be the money. Not all jobs, at least here in the Bay Area, require you to be certified paralegal, but the ones that do tend to have higher pays. We're talking like 120, 100, well, mostly 120. The ones that I've seen, they're at 120, and it's usually you have to be a certified paralegal. Meanwhile, a paralegal that is not certified might not make as much money, but in this job market, I think it's subjective to where you are. There are job postings that I've seen where they don't really require you to be certified and they still pay 6 figures. It just depends on what type of law you're doing, and at least here in the Bay Area, if it's a tech companies, some of them, not all of them, might pay you a little bit more money. So it's all subjective. And another example of that is full legal secretaries here in San Francisco. From the job postings that I've seen, their starting wages are at $100,000, and you do not have to have this background or this training to be a paralegal. You don't have to meet BCP 6450. You just have to have experience. Like if you currently work at an administrative job and you have experience booking meetings, booking flights, sending letters, things like that, transferable into legal secretary. It's all subjective, and at the end, it's up to your discretion on whether you want to take the path of being certified, like if that's going to help you out, or if you want to be a paralegal, or if you want to be a legal secretary. It's at the end all up to you. So, am I a certified paralegal? The answer is no. I have not done the CP exam. I think it's a combination of burnout and fear from SATs, ACT, finals, all of those testings that I had to do in my undergrad. I think it's just been a little traumatizing, and tests are not free and they're not cheap. If you keep on failing them and each test is $300, it's gonna accumulate. But I am a NALA member, so if I ever wanted to take the CP exam, I do get a discount on it, and I do have their book that I can look over just in case one day I decide to brave it out. But I think another thing that might be costing me a little bit of hesitation is the fact that the CP exam is testing you on all areas of law. It's testing you on both federal and state level, and I am not very familiar with all of that. Most of my work is in state, a little bit of federal, and my knowledge is kind of housing, civil litigation, and employment. And for the CP exam, it goes into immigration, family, business, probate, all of that stuff. And it's a lot. It's a lot. The next thing people might not be aware of, as I was not aware of before I came into this career, is what is the difference between a paralegal and an attorney? Now, paralegals and attorneys, we have similar knowledge, and sometimes paralegals might know a little bit more than an attorney, but the difference is, as a paralegal, I can't represent anyone in court, and I cannot give you legal advice. No one who is not a licensed attorney should be giving you legal advice. Not the paralegal, not the legal secretary, not the receptionist, not your neighbor Bob. If he is not a licensed attorney, he should not be giving you legal advice. Only an attorney can do that. And then I guess the other difference would be that attorneys generally make more money than a paralegal. And again, this is subjective, because there could be an attorney that's working at a nonprofit that might be making less money than a paralegal working corporate, and is definitely making less money than an attorney working corporate. So that is subjective to the job market that you're in. The next thing that you might be wondering is, would I want to be an attorney? Is that something I see in my future? And the answer is not right now. No. I believe that going to law school is a decision that you do not make lightly, that it's something that you should decide on doing if that's something you're truly passionate about. You want to become an attorney. The goal that you have in life of like the change you want to bring into this world can only happen if you're an attorney. Like that's kind of what I think. If it's going to aid your goals, then go for it, because law school is very expensive. Unless you're somebody who has a family, who has money, or you have money or whatever, then go for it. Your money, your choice, right? But for someone like me who doesn't have this money just lying around, I have to make decisions based on financially if I can afford it, and also if it's something I'm passionate about. I cannot afford to, it's not a waste, but in my mind it would be a waste of money for me to go to law school and then not do anything with it. You got to be sure about going to law school overall. Even if you go to law school, you still, after you graduated, you still have to do the state bar exam. And that's also very expensive. Not many people pass it on their first try. And until you pass that bar exam, you are not an attorney. It's a lot to become an attorney. I really enjoy being a paralegal. I think paralegals, like I mentioned, have more knowledge sometimes than attorneys. Especially a new attorney fresh out of law school, you are likely going to know way more than they do. Unless they were a paralegal before they went to law school, you are likely going to know so much more than they do. You will know how to plan cases. You will know how to file things. You just know everything. You know about service, of the best methods to do it. Where do you look for people? How do you find people? You just know all of this information out of the practice of law versus an attorney who's coming in with all of this knowledge and hasn't yet had a chance to put it in practice. So no, I am currently not interested in law school. I am very happy right where I am. Of course, still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Like I could change my mind in a couple of years and decide I do want to go to law school, or I could decide I don't like being in the legal field anymore. I think we all have a right to grow and make changes to what we thought we wanted to do with our lives. And that could happen to me. With that, if you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, any questions, I encourage you to leave them down below. If I got anything wrong, let me know. But I do ask that it be constructive so we can have a productive conversation. I don't know if I will be making any more content about being a paralegal. Probably will go back to our regular programming. Unless there's something you're interested in watching, you can comment down below. And with that, thank you again for watching this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.